Hello, this is a little startup video for how to get the file management system going for the Leica DM500 using the LASX software. On the Leica, you're going to be using this green box here, and you squeeze the two sides right here and open the top off. And then inside are two slides. You have the onion root tip and the corn stem. And today I'm just going to do the corn stem here. Actually, I'll do the onion root tip. I think that's your first one. Okay, so onion root tip here. Put that in there. And now let me show you how to start up the management system. So you go down to LASX here. Let me share the screen. Go down to LASX here, which I just started already. This thing here you don't need. I can't quite figure out how to make it go away. So you just drag this over here and make it go away physically. Okay, this is the old sample I was doing. But what you're going to do is first go over to Explorer, and you're going to go into the user desktop, and this is the student login, right? It should just start up on the computer. And you go into this. Right now it's going into my folder, NP, Nathan Peabody, but you're going to click on this. Well, it's already there. Click on that once, go up to add a new folder, and then you're going to put got to click on this once to highlight it in blue, and you're going to put your name in there. So student, just put your initials. And now this is your new folder here. This little red dot, that means it's recording in the folder, but you're going to want your folder. If for some reason you put your accidentally saved to another file folder, you can just go grab them later. But go up to this little set acquisition folder here, click it. When the student is highlighted, now you can see the red dots next to this name. So now everything's going to be set in here. Okay. Then we go back to, then go down here to acquisition format. You want TIFFs, uncompressed, 8-bit, and then you want your image name defined. You can see here I have NP, first initials, the full date, 08/25/21, month, date, year, and then whatever the samples are. So this is going to be onion root tip. May not do, you don't necessarily have to do the whole name, but it helps. And then whatever objective lens, this is the 4x objective. And if you're using bright fields, do BF or whatever fluorescence. You've got UV for the UV excitation, blue for the blue excitation, and green for the green excitation, all up here. Okay. Now let me go find the sample briefly, just make sure it's in there. So it's something to look at. Okay. Samples up, you go back to acquisition, go down to live, and I'm on 4x. This doesn't actually change too much of the information you're going to see, but it does change how it processes and saves it for the metadata. Okay, we're not seeing anything. Why is it a white screen? Because it's way too bright. See how I'm on 600 milliseconds here? That was way too much because I was doing fluorescence. So I'm going to go down to 10 milliseconds. I'm going to type it in. I want to see the histogram here. And you can also just type that in, make that go back to 1, make my gain go back to 1. And wow, it is still too bright. Okay, well, I can see it knows something's there. I'm going to just turn down my, there we go. I'm turning down the bright field lamp. And the lamp's a little jumpy. You see how this is jumping around? It's sort of annoying. So you sort of want the lamp up a little higher. Why don't I go down to 2 milliseconds? There we go. Change the milliseconds to get nice, even curves in the histogram. And maybe I'll go up to 3. That'll make the histogram go, oh, that was too much. I'm trying to get that histogram, trying to get this histogram fit into the window. So let's try 2.5. All right, that seems pretty good. I'm going to go 2.75. Boom. Okay, so this is the The histogram's looking to you can see it's a little jerky. That's because the light's a little off, but that's okay. So that would be 10x. We can't actually, or sorry, 4x. You could take a picture there just to have a scope of where am I going to focus into. And we want the tip, right? So you'd probably go up to the tippy part. That's the tip. That's the tail. You can see it starts falling apart at the end there. Go back up to the tip here. Okay. And I want to go right in here. So I'm going to go up to 10x now. And now we're way too dim. So maybe I'll do 10 milliseconds here. Go even higher. Let's do 15. So keep doing the milliseconds until a maximum of 100. That's your best bet. That just means the camera takes longer to take the picture. We still can't really see any cell phases, but this is your zoom in. So you want to keep zooming into the sample higher and higher. You could take a picture there at 10x. You would go back to Explorer here and change this to 10. I haven't actually taken the picture yet. Okay, so to take a picture, you just hit single image, click, 10x, yes, and boom, you'll see this pops up. Now we've got a 10x, okay? Now I'm going to jump into 40x, so I change this to 40. I'm in the Explorer window here. Go back to acquisition, change the objective lens, hit live, boom. Now I'm going to try 100 milliseconds. Okay, now is when we really need to start messing with it because we're up at 40x, which is where we want to be to see the various nuclei. And you're going to have to play around with this and maybe you could go up to 200. 200 is okay. I think actually 500 is okay, but 500 means a half a second. That means things can get a little jiggly. Okay, here you can start seeing, so you may want to just find, you're going to need 2 samples, and the closer we go to the tip, the more we should start seeing various phases. I'm not seeing too many different phases here. Let's see. I want the ones where, oh yeah, right up here, there's something where you're seeing all the various ones, but there's some here. So look for a place that has these interesting chromosomes so you can take an interesting picture of where, this one's a good one. So you've got chromosomes here doing something interesting. Let me see, focus in on that a little more. And you've got interesting chromosomes over here and here. And this is at 40x. So you're going to need 2 of these pictures at 40x. And then count all of these. Well, it's quite a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You can go left and right and try and find a cool spot for the corn sample. Anyway, that's how you take general pictures. You're going to be changing, you're in standard with this histogram going, and you're going to change the exposure, the gain, use this down here, and use this over here. I don't use this as gamma slider much, but you do whatever you need to do to get a crisp, clean picture so you can see the chromosomes. And then when you're ready, you capture an image. Just make sure you have the place here all set up to go. I'm on 40x, bright field, onion root tip, so I could just capture the image right now. Make it 40x, and boom, there we go. Okie dokie.